First Sergeant Kep here with Company D, 2nd United States Sharpshooters, and today we are going to talk to you about a really important job, not only in the military, but also a really important job in the hobby, and that is a quartermaster. Now, the quartermaster position would not have existed within a company, but when it comes to managing a lot of loaner gear, having a company quartermaster can be a really essential tool in the smooth management of day-to-day activities. Quartermasters play an important role of making sure that they take care of the equipment, that they make sure that it's issued, and that the unit has the tools and equipment that they need to have a good weekend. Now, since this does not have any formal Civil War history to it, it is a reenactor position. And so how your company goes about deciding a quartermaster is going to be up to you. And it may or may not be a good idea or a good fit for your unit, but we want to talk to our quartermaster today so he can share his experience, his thoughts, and his tips for those of you out there who think this might be a good idea for you to do or to improve on an existing position that you already have. So let me introduce you to our company quartermaster, Tyler Severson. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
So I see we're starting with paperwork. A lot of people think quartermaster is just about equipment, but there's actually a lot of secretarial work that goes into it.
There's a lot of paperwork that goes into being quartermaster. We have a reenactor form, Form 52, which is signing out all the equipment. There's the person's signature, there's my signature, what they checked out, a bunch of different information, a bunch of different stuff. But that way you can completely keep track of what's been issued so that you don't lose something at the end of the weekend and you know, hey, something went wrong, I'm missing this or this or this, and you know this person had it. That way at the end of the weekend you're not like, where's all my stuff?
Well, and that's really important too, because what do a lot of people want to do after the last battle and the last day of an event? They just want to dump all their gear and get out of there.
Yeah.
And this really helps you stay on top of it.
Yeah.
This form is actually a modification of the actual Form 52, but we modified it to fit the hobby. So there's going to be a few things on here that are going to be reenacting specific, and a few things that were from the original military form that just didn't quite fit the hobby, and it wasn't going to be a concise form for what we're trying to do with it. These forms and others like it you can find online at our website at secondusss.com.
But this field desk is kind of my go-to. I keep a lot of different stuff in here. Spare ink, spare pencils, some of my own personal stuff, ostrich feathers because that's for our specialty, and then the meat and potatoes of really all your quartermaster work is the paperwork. So I have a full inventory of everything that we have. This was taken near the start of the pandemic when I was bored and had nothing to do. So I was like, I haven't inventoried in a while and we have more stuff. So I just completely went through all everything that we had. That way I could also take it to get dry cleaned. I had a good inventory of what I should be expecting back.
Well, and this is really important too, because if we have an X number of people coming to an event who need loaner gear, it takes out all the guesswork. So that way you know, well, we have so many blankets, we have so many brogans, and also too, just for like managing the growth of a unit, if we, for example, we have no shirts.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're hitting up eBay or there's like a trading blanket at an event, it could be a good opportunity to use company funds to invest in more loaner gear.
Right, and that's been one of my projects for our unit is improving upon our loaner gear, making it a little bit more campaigner, as much as we can. Increasing the sizes we have is another important one.
Yeah, the variety of sizes to match your unit.
More Form 52s. That's really the meat and potatoes of your paperwork is Form 52. Then we also have Form 5, which is more specialty items, so bugles, the letters and numbers that would go on caps, knapsacks, haversacks, a bunch of other stuff. That's really more garrison and camp equipment than anything else. A couple spare of those. I really have a lot.
Yeah, well, you gotta be prepared.
And then Form 4, which is accoutrements, so like rifle, bayonet, bayonet scabbard, cap box, and picks, and the like. This is a list of everybody that has like white gloves in the unit. That way we know who has them and who might need them. And that's about all the paperwork I have.
You have your general orders.
Oh, I also have those, yes. So me and the first sergeant came together, and we came up with General Order number 20, which is just a basic order on how we want our loaner gear to be taken care of.
That's really important. Loaner gear is going to be any reenactment unit's biggest expense.
Yeah.
Really. And so you want to make sure that we set those standards of how you take care of it. And it's a rough hobby. So there's going to be wear and tear. We want to make sure that, if you blow the seam out of your trousers, that you notify the quartermaster so that can get sewn up. Or it could be taken to the company tailor to be repaired at a reasonable amount of time. Right. We have 2 crates that will easily fit in around camp. And this is really handy. I think a lot of reenactors will tend to put their loaner gear in plastic tubs.
Right.
And while those are great for storing at home, you can't have them out at an event.
I typically, if we're doing a battle event, I will literally just keep these as like a windbreak for my tent. And if someone needs something during the day, I don't have to run back to our trucks or cars or whatever to get some plastic Tupperware and be like, this size might fit, it might not.
And reenacting parking can sometimes be a mile away.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a peek. You have these organized, so you have different types of equipment. So what do we got in here?
So this is going to be all our leather and non-uniform items. So I had it better organized before the event. So we have canteens. I try to keep them all in the same area. We have spare boots, brogans, ground cloths, belts, cartridge box, cap pouch, all kind of in a set so that if someone needs a full set of leathers, we can just issue it to them. That way we're not thinking around like, this belt and this belt might work. No, it's all ready to go. That way someone can just literally strap on and go and fight some rebels or unionists or whatever you might be.
Yeah. Well, and another great way to sort of like build your quartermaster supply is to really kind of build that environment in your company where as you improve your impression, you could donate your used gear or maybe your mainstream gear, because this is really going to help new people get their foot in the door and have the gear that they need to have a good time. Another thing that may not always be considered when it comes to quartermaster equipment is when you are at events, it's also really handy to have tools that might be useful. So we have them out now, but we have axes and wedges, we have saws, you can often find hammers and shovels and other useful tools that are really handy to have around camp.
For instance, we have a mucket, something for someone to make their dinner or lunch or whatever have you. And
I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a Farby stainless mucket, right? So stainless, while it's Farby, and if you have a choice, there's the old debate about muckets, but there are some fantastic tin-made ones that are based on documentation. But stainless could be a good option, especially for new reenactors, because they can't destroy this. Yeah. You don't want some 14-year-old taking the field, and first thing they do is melt all the solder off your really nice Ulrich tin, for example. Yeah. So it could have a place for your unit, And then what do we have in this crate?
So this is our uniforms, much better organized because it's a little easier to organize typically. So we have spare pants, have all different colors because we're a specialty unit. So it's nice.
Early war, late war.
Early war, late war, whatever we have, whatever fits. That way we have that nice hodgepodge for our unit. Then we also have spare caps. We have frock coats here in the middle. And then we have sack coats. I believe we have a wamba and white in there as well. So we're starting to get there on a little bit more high quality here. But as you can kind of see, it's not the best, but for a new person, it'll get them in the door, it'll get them on the field, and they'll be able to have fun and actually impress them enough that, hey, maybe I do want to spend that $115 on a kit or that $300 for hand-sewn wamba and white sack coat.
Yeah, and you can see just the amount of wool uniforms that you have here. So one thing for your company to maybe consider having a conversation on is, are you going to have some sort of rental fee? Because there is wear and tear, so there's going to be people's time, there's going to be needles, threads, there's going to be dry cleaning. Because these get sweat in by a bunch of different people, and we try to have the whole kit dry cleaned once a year, but that could be a couple $100 with these this many uniforms.
Yeah.
So you may think, well, okay, well, if we factor all this in, well, like leather care too, right? So you have all your leather oils and your saddle soaps, polishing, brass, whatever your different uniform needs may be. Those are conversations and considerations to take in mind as you develop your quartermaster program for your company.
Because at the end of the day, it's ultimately most likely going to be up to the quartermaster to make sure that all those oils are in stock. So it'd be nice to have a fee, however much your fee is, and then they can use that to buy more flits or Obenhoffs or whatever you use.
Yeah, so I hope this interview has been helpful. There are a lot of different ways to share responsibilities and give those opportunities for responsibilities within a unit. It's really easy for a lot of units to have just a couple of people taking on a ton of responsibility. We all know those units where there's that one person with the 15, 20-foot trailer just packed full of all the gear, and if something happens to them, then it's a huge headache.
Right.
So this can really spread out the workload across numerous different people in your company. Everyone feels like they're contributing, and everyone has an opportunity to sort of develop and explore different impressions. So, well, thanks so much for your time today, Quartermaster Severson. Let us know if you have any questions or comments down below. Thanks as always for liking and subscribing, and we'll see you next time.